Blessing, this is Pastor Carlos from CDA Ministry. I'm here actually at church recording this. This is the easy way for me to do it. Um, and God bless you all. I'm going to be speaking about holiness. Holiness, and I'm not going in detail in a specific Bible verse, but Jesus in the book of the Gospel says, be holy because I am holy. And when we get the definition of holy, it means to separate. It means to separate. And separation is something that as Christians, as believers, that has to be our lifestyle. We have to be we have to live a life of separation from the world. And a great example of that, of separation, or what it means to separate, we could see in the book of Daniel, when Daniel and the other three young Hebrews were captivated to Babylon. And they offered them food from the kingdom of uh, offer them food, and they did not want to contaminate themselves with the food of the king, because they knew that food was actually sacrificed to idols. And many times, many ways, the enemy tried, or the world tried, to contaminate us from either perspective, different perspective in life. It could be through emotionally, it could be physically, it could be mentally. There's different perspective how the world can or is able to contaminate us. And it's a shame to say this, but we see a lot of Christians, a lot of churches, even a lot of ministers who actually are contaminated, or contaminated by the influence of the world, by the influence of the enemy. How we could see that there's something about their life, something about their lifestyle that doesn't agree with the Bible. It doesn't go exactly what the Bible speaks about. And we see that very often. Not nowadays, people don't want to preach about holiness. Nowadays, pastors and preachers and even the church, they don't want to hear nothing about holiness. They want to hear about prosperity. They want to hear about how God's gonna bless you with a house, a car, how God's gonna bless you with money, a new job, a wife, or a boyfriend, or a husband, whatever. But they don't want to hear about you being holy. You need to separate your life to God. And separation is an action of ourself. God will not separate you. You have to separate yourself. You have to distance yourself. You have to make that decision upon yourself and say, you know what? I need to separate from sin. I need to separate from these people, because these people actually are influencing me to do make wrong choices. So in separation, we have to make the decision. We have to agree to ourselves, and we have to make that decision of saying, you know what? If I need to follow Jesus, if I want to follow Jesus, one thing I have to do, I have to deny myself. I have to say no to myself, to my flesh, to my desire. I have to deny myself. And that's a problem with a lot of us, with that, a lot of Christians actually, who can separate because they love what they're doing. They love what they're doing. They love living that double life inside the churches. And now, if you preach against religion, you're being a religious person. If you preach against sin, or you're a religious person, you're not a fruit of grace. You're not a fruit of mercy, because now you preaching about sin and condemnation, and you're preaching about being holy. So now people don't want to hear about holiness. People don't want to hear about sin. But it is there. This is the foundation that Jesus has left the disciple. You have to deny yourself. You have to say no to yourself. You have to say no to your flesh. You got to say no to also desires within you, for separation. Jesus is holy. God is holy. God is a holy God. And everything that stands in between God is sin. Sin. So we as child of the light, we as child of the kingdom, there is something in us that we need is who we are. We are holy people. We are people of holiness. We are people that don't live by sin. We are people that don't follow sin. Because Jesus Christ, when he comes to get his church, to get the bride, it will be a bride who is holy. A bride that is holy. Blessing.